The best of Money Matters. Right Business.
Welcome to The Right Business, where we dive deep into the stories of trailblazers who dare to disrupt the status quo, find the gap in the market to find the right business. Hello, I'm Hongbin Jeong. What makes a dessert destination more than just a sweet treat? Can a frozen yogurt brand turn into a social hotspot and a cult favorite all at once? And what does it take to win over a city that's already spoiled for choice when it comes to desserts? Australia's Yochi has done just that, winning hearts down under with its self-serve Froyo, acai bowls, and playful immersive experience. Singapore marks its first international stop, and crowds were already lining up hours before doors open at Orchard Central. Today, we find out more from the co-owner of Yochi Singapore, who has brought her F&B experience from ventures like Cocoa Whip and the Meat Club. We'll ask her what it takes to craft a local experience that's both true to the brand's Australian roots and uniquely Singaporean. Well, joining us today to share more is Amy Bell, co-owner of Yochi. Hi, Amy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
I'm so excited for you to be here as well. Amy, having launched multiple F&B ventures before, what drew you to, partner with Yochi here in Singapore?
What's not to love about Yochi? I'd be silly not to have partnered with them. Yeah, I really think it was a great opportunity for us to bring a brand that has a great market fit for a fresh and what is ultimately a very interactive dessert experience to Singapore. We also really got along with the Ellis family in Australia, a family that also sits behind Boost Juice. And I think without, their support and friendship, I wouldn't be sitting here today. So for that, I'm very grateful. And I think, we're just excited by what ultimately is that cult following and a very unique self-serve concept.
Right. Despite Yochi's popularity in Australia, now the Singapore F&B market is notoriously competitive. With several international brands exiting in recent years, we've already seen several of them closing down just in the last month or so. So how do you plan to differentiate Yochi beyond the initial hype, and what lessons from your previous ventures are you applying to ensure long-term success?
Yeah, absolutely right. There is a lot of attrition in the market. There's no doubting that. I think for us, we are very passionate about looking at Yochi as a third space. So you might remember when Starbucks opened many moons ago, there is an element of homeliness to it. You walk into that venue, you feel very welcomed. It's warm. You can sit down and enjoy it like you would your lounge room. And I think Yochi represents a third space with a different twist. We have very much an Australian hospitality philosophy for the venue. If you haven't been there already, we have a disco ball, we have great music, we have what we would call that Australian hospitality where you enter the venue and people will greet you. Our team members are deeply passionate about the product as well, and they want to make sure that you're having a good time, and that's really a core focus of ours. I think the other focus obviously is on the quality of our ingredients. We use premium toppings, premium yogurts that are all direct from Australia using 100% cow's milk. And then finally, I think, as you said, with this level of attrition, how do we stay ahead of the game? And I think, how long do we have? But the one point that I will make is that making sure that we have operational excellence at all times, because there is no point marketing a brand if you don't have a good in-store experience. It only takes one customer to have a negative experience for it to really impact the entire business. Everything is online these days. So we really make sure that we focus on that first and foremost before anything else.
All right. Well, I believe you guys were viral online before you even opened here in Singapore. When I opened TikTok, Yochi was everywhere. How did you make that happen? How did you go viral before even opening your doors?
I love this question. And actually, I can't take credit for this. This is an amazing Australian team, Miranda especially. She sits in our Australian office but has ties to Singapore herself. And in fact, it was her idea to create what was initially called the Yochi Leaks handle. So that was born out of Australia. It leaked information from the Australian account into the leaked account, and then we changed the name over to Singapore.
Oh.
So originally, a lot of those followers were naturally based in Australia, but over time we've seen that the demographics have shifted entirely, a lot, I should say, to Singapore, if not entirely. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
It was very clever. It was really good
very
idea.
Good game plan.
Yeah.
And on opening day, it proved to be a very good plan because crowds formed hours before the launch with some customers lining up since the early morning. It just seems like, it would be like a sneaker launch or a clothing launch that people would line up, or even an iPhone launch, right? Are you still seeing snaking queues now?
We are, thank you. And again, I have to just thank Singapore for the support that we've had to date because it's been unbelievable. It's been beyond any of our wildest dreams. We are seeing snaking queues, particularly towards the end of the week and weekends. But days like today do come as a bit of a surprise. I was at the outlet a few hours ago and there were just hordes of school children down there who had just finished their exams and were then taking the rest of the day off, as well as tomorrow and Friday off. And so I don't have my finger on the pulse with the, local school calendar for exams. So those types of things come as a real surprise to us. So we haven't really seen a pattern, but we are very grateful for the support nonetheless. The good thing to know, and I will point out, is that it does move really fast. So we get a lot of feedback saying, I didn't join the line because it was so long, but it does go really fast. And we make every effort to make it quite entertaining when you're in there.
All right. Well, I should head down there because I think I was one of those people who are like, the lines are too long. Maybe I'll go later. But since you said the lines move fast, I'll drop by. Well, the outlet combines food, interactivity, and ambiance, complete with, as you mentioned, disco balls, neon lights, and music to create this social experience. But how important is this fun and, experiential element to the brand's identity? Is this something that you just did for, the opening month, or is it something that you will continue to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely something we will continue to do. It's not just important, it's everything. We call it a vibe, and I know that sounds really cliche, but when you walk into the store or even within its vicinity, you can feel it. And that's hard to describe without actually seeing it yourself. But what is the vibe? It's, having a Yochi bowl with your best friends after an exam. It's bringing down your family members and sharing a bowl before or after dinner. It's really enjoying that, like I said, that Australian hospitality. And I think for us, even little aspects like having the free flow water, both still and sparkling, that's a really small touch, but it has such an impact, not just on your experience in the venue, but also from our sustainability perspective, which is, we want to reduce plastic waste. So it is really important for us, and we will continue to make sure that that's a pillar of our brand identity in Singapore.
Definitely. And as you mentioned, your Froyo is made in-store with fresh Australian milk and organic acai. Well, what's the secret behind the texture and the taste that keeps customers coming back for more?
Well, the recipe is actually 13 years young. Okay. So, yeah, the business has been operational in Australia for that duration of time. So we're very fortunate to be partnering with that and getting that know-how from Australia. It is 100% Australian cow's milk. And I think when you combine fresh ingredients with quality toppings, you really can't go wrong.
Well, speaking of quality toppings, I mean, some of your toppings are indulgent, others healthy, brownie versus fresh fruit, Nutella versus coconut jelly. Do you see customers as, flavor rebels who mix it all, or more as, careful curators of their own cups? Any crazy combinations that have impressed you?
Do you know what I think? Because it is such a social brand, a Gen Z, Instagram, TikTok brand, I've not actually seen anyone mix everything together to make it, one big bowl of mess. I mean, maybe that can be a TikTok viral trend that we start. But I think because of that social phenomenon, everyone wants to curate a bowl that looks pretty and is aesthetically pleasing because they do tend to take photos with it. I also think that because no two bowls are the same, you kind of want to try, your little bit of vanilla with the chocolate brownie in one bite, and then maybe a mochi with your strawberry in a second bite. So mixing it all together kind of, makes that, not an option, so to speak.
I'll be the first course, I'll be that flavor rebel. I'll put everything in because I usually just want a bit of everything, right?
Of course.
Well, Singapore exclusive toppings like nata de coco and coconut jelly are a local twist. Were there any unexpected flavor ideas that didn't make the cut?
I think there wasn't anything that didn't make the cut, so to speak. We do have 30 options on our toppings bar, so it is there is a lot of choices, let me put it that way. And I think it's not the case that we said no to any toppings, it's just that they're yet to come out.
Right.
So watch this space.
Okay, we'll be looking out. What's the ultimate must-try combo that captures the full experience?
Oh, gosh. Well, I will have to speak from my experience here. And let's break it into morning and evening if we can, because of a morning, I'm more of a acai bowl type of girl. So I will put a base down of acai or something like signature tart. So something, that's very fresh. I'll load in some fresh fruit. Then we've got a granola, some cashew nuts, and like maybe a peanut drizzle. So that just sets you up for a nice breakfast, if I'm honest. But anything into the evening or afternoon, evening, I would say going a little bit more indulgent. So I really like the matcha and the chocolate. I would load in some form of chocolate on top of that, be it a wafer or a Malteser. Must try. I'll have to do a shout out to our cookie dough. That's very popular. It can get sticky, so you need the 2 spoons to put it onto your bowl safely. Our brownie and chocolate chip brownie are also super popular. I'm going a little bit overboard here, but finally is the Nutella fountain. So we have a Nutella fountain. There's only 3 in Australia, so we're the 4th Yochi worldwide to have it. And you can't go past the Nutella fountain. Yeah, just to top it all off and make it extra indulgent.
There are a lot of toppings there. Might as well, save it for a very special day, I believe. But it is that sweet treat that you deserve, especially even midweek, right? It's Wednesday today, so if you want to pop by tonight, grab some Yochi. You've got the cookie dough, you got the brownies, you got the matcha. Oh, I'm getting my sweet cravings are kicking in at the moment. Well, Yochi operates on a self-serve, pay-by-weight model, which encourages, customers to experience with flavors and toppings, right? Can't imagine how expensive the combo that you mentioned will be. But how do you see this approach enhancing customer engagement, encouraging repeat visits in Singapore?
Definitely. I think it gives freedom to create your own unique cup. So that no matter how many times you go back to Yochi, every bowl will be unique. Everything will change if you want it to. But if you find your perfect recipe and you want to stick with it, that's also fine. So I think giving that freedom for sure. And I guess also it gives customers, our guests, control not just over their portion, but as you also mentioned, their spend, because it is pay by weight. And then I think finally it really fosters a certain level of curiosity and playful experimentation, as you said, because you can, try different flavor combinations and see how they work.
All right. Well, social media, you said, has, played a major role in Yochi's rise, particularly among Gen Z and Gen Alpha. How do you plan to continue leveraging that digital engagement?
Yes, I think for us, it will definitely be some of our limited time offering, particularly on the toppings bar. So we will look to start rolling that out, ideally this month. Some of the difficulties can be around supply and volume, just making sure we secure that before we launch anything. So limited time offers, because that can really create a sense of FOMO. We will also continue to make sure that we are creating fun campaigns that resonate with our target audience, primarily being that Gen Z, because they'll bring in their mum and dad or their grandparents or their sister or brother or, their group of girlfriends from school. And then finally, we really hope to make sure that we're always starting the conversation. So not necessarily adding to it, which we can as well, of course, but making sure that we're kind of ahead of the rest if we can.
Definitely. Well, looking ahead, what new experiences can Singapore customers expect from Yochi then? And how do you see the brand evolving over the next few years?
Well, definitely we will change out some of the yogurt flavors over time. We've already seen that coconut wasn't selling as well as we might have planned. So we've doubled down on our signature tart flavor. And there's some very exciting flavors coming out from Australia. So you'll have to keep an eye out for those. those special chi offerings, so the toppings bar, the LTOs, they will be coming on board as of this month, as I mentioned. And finally, outlet number 2 and 3, yes.
Oh.
Yeah, so we are very, very excited, but I haven't got news to share just this moment. But yeah, you can definitely be rest assured that we will have another outlet, ideally by the end of the year.
Oh my goodness, so fast. All right.
My partners might kill me for saying that.
Looking forward to it.
Don't hold me to it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Amy, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that was Amy Bell, co-owner at Yochi. This has been The Right Business with me, Hongbin Jeong.
Money FM 89.3